Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream, and hello XD! XD is in the chat immediately. How are you? Aloha! XD says aloha. Aloha! How are you doing? Did you have a great weekend? I hope so. We're here today to do Inktober52, sort of, because it is Inktober month. So I thought about it. I was like, do I want to do the weekly prompt, which actually I didn't get in my mailbox, so I didn't have one. Didn't get an official email about the weekly prompt. Or will I just follow with regular Inktober and do whatever that day's prompt is? And I'm going to do that second option. So the regular old Inktober prompt for this day of this month is path. So I have a reference image that I got from my favorite free stock image site, pexels.com. I think it's .com. Pexels anyway. P-E-X-E-L-S. Of like a winding path, a top view, like a helicopter or like a bird's eye view of a winding path through a forest. I thought it would be fun to do a different kind of composition. I don't do top-down compositions very often, so I'm going to use this reference image to be my environment and to be the path, and then I'm going to just have some little like silhouettes of griffins flying across the page. I haven't heard from Exie yet. Hopefully my greeting got through. Exie, are you there? Hello! Aloha! Let me show you my supplies that I shall be using. I've been using them all year. Most of them came from the Inktober retreat last year, which I don't know if it started yet this year, but they're definitely doing it again. I'm not going, but hopefully the people participating have as good a time as I did. Oh good, Exie is here. I just didn't know. Oh, that's okay, that's okay. Oh, thank you for being so considerate. Exie says I just didn't want to interrupt the intro of this stream. No, that's good. I'm always happy to see you. I'm so happy not to be alone. I really am, I really am. Yep, so these are the supplies I got at that retreat last year. A couple of brush pens. This one is double-ended with a big and a medium. This one has the same medium as this one, so it makes them hard to choose which one to use. Oh, excellent! Exie says, I'm alright. Thank you for asking. You're welcome! I'm always glad to hear that. How are you? I'm good! Ready to start this week off. It was a nice raining morning, which is my favorite weather, so I'm in a pretty good mood. It's not raining anymore, but it didn't get sunny yet. It said it would be sunny by now, and I don't like sunny, so yeah, so I'm in a pretty good mood. Hold on, my eye is itchy. Hold on a second, go to itch my eye. Maybe it's because this is the eye that I have a contact in, and I have not put any rehydrating drops in a while, so maybe that's why it's itchy. Okay, I'll stop messing with it. If you mess with it too much, it gets worse. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, I've been seeing other people I know, like on Discord especially, because it tells you what people's games are playing. I see a lot of people playing that. Exie says, weekend was alright, too. I played lots of Baldur's Gate, the game I play all the time, haha. Holy crap. I played it over 210 hours and just released 2 months ago. I wonder what that is percentage of that amount of time. What's 2 times whatever? Oh, it's a lot of math. I can't do it, but that seems like a large percentage. But that means the game is good, which is good because I believe everybody should spend as much time as possible doing things that they enjoy. So that's good. This item that I've been holding on to this was not part of the retreat items. This is my own inclusion, my favorite Blackwing pencil with a nice cap, and also to go with it, my favorite pencil sharpener. And then this, so all of these are the same brand, Zebra. So this is a Zebra drawing set with 5 double-ended markers and 5 fine liner pens. And the caps indicate the colors. Oh yeah, I added this last week. I was very happy with it. I'm happy to have this new addition to my kit. Just a plastic eraser. This is the high polymer eraser by Pentel. It worked really nicely. Especially, it worked really well with this Moleskine Inktober sketchbook on the paper. It was just so, it glided smoothly across the page. It was so nice. Like Inktober. It's got the nice like embossed, and then Moleskine embossed on the back. And let's see, how far are we into this? Hey, look at that. We're over halfway filled this notebook. That's pretty exciting to me because I love finishing up. The most exciting thing is like starting a new one and finishing an old one. So we're getting closer to that next exciting point. Okay, let me fold up my cute little Shiba Inu bag and set it off to the side. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And just set this over here. Exie did the math. Exie says 1,500 hours since it was released, so the ratio of my playtime is 1 out of point. No, sorry, I keep reading this wrong. 1 per 7.5. That means it's a good game. I think the only game that I've done like that, oh, I don't know though. Back in the day, I played EverQuest Online Adventure on the PlayStation 2 like mad, like crazy. But that was so long ago, and it didn't really track hours the way we can track today. But my Animal Crossing hours are pretty good. That's been out for several years though, so. It's not the same as a game that was only 2 months ago. That's good though. What's your favorite part about it? What keeps you playing it so much? Like, is there just so much to do that it's that you're still finding new things, or is it just like some aspect of the gameplay is so fun that it never gets boring, or like you got friends on there and it's really fun to play with them? Okay, hold on. I realized that my camera is, because this is straight across, but my camera is not straight across, so let me turn it a bit. There we go. Doesn't really matter too much, but it bothers me a bit. I like stuff being all so. Okay. So I'm just going to start with sketching this. It's like a forest with like a road going through it, but it's so high up that it looks like a path. So I was looking up the dictionary definition. Some of the trees come out on top of the road of path. So I was like, maybe there's some weird meaning that I've never heard of before or something. Not really. It's a pretty basic word. But in the dictionary definition, it was like, it's a way to go somewhere, but it's smaller than a road or a way. So that was interesting to note that I mean, like, it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. I never really thought about it before. And it's like, oh, what makes it a path is that it's smaller than a road. It's like thinner than a road. So even though this reference image I'm looking at is a road, it's like looks like a two or three, yeah, because it changes at the curves, but it's a 2 to 3 lane highway through a forest. But since it's so far away, it looks like a thin path, so. Okay, so I've got the main path in the middle. Now I'm going to add the trees, because some of it seems to have been cleared for some reason, and then there's like this like jagged thing like this, which I don't know what it is. And so we'll just put these interesting shapes in here. Just follow the reference image. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention it because it's the first of the month, and also well, the first stream of the month is not the first day of the month. First stream of the month. I was really pleased with myself for getting all of my charity information updated, and the charity of the month this month is Palomacy, which is a pigeon adoption and rescue charity, and I have 2 pigeons. One was adopted and one was we literally rescued her. And the reason why I chose it for October is because October 2 years ago was my first full month caring for a pigeon. So I learned a lot about pigeons in October of 2021. So 22 was our first year anniversary, and this year was our second year anniversary having Sora with us. My little pigeon Sora. So that's why I chose Palomacy as this month's charity. Oh! Okay, I'll just read this out loud as I'm reading it for the first time. Actually says, there's so much to do, that one thing, but I feel like the best thing about it is giving you kind of personalized story. The world, the characters, the story changed a lot with your decisions. So I'm really invested in it to make my story a good one. Oh, that's cute. I want to make it a good story. Oh, that's so fun. Make everyone happy. Yes. I love it. That's what I would do too. As multiplayer, but I lack of friends, so I play alone. Oh man, I know how that feels though. Like, I know plenty of people, but the amount of people that I have who correspond with the thing that I want to do at that moment is very small. So I totally understand. I play with my siblings more than anybody else when I'm playing multiplayer game, or like with my husband, so yeah, I get that. Aw, thank you! I thought I'd try something a little different. As it says, I feel like it'd be a unique artwork from you. Excited to see it finished. It's always so good to try something that I don't normally do. I learned that from my illustration degree, and a little bit from my other classes too, but especially from my illustration classes. The idea of trying a totally different stuff, and I don't know, like, sometimes it doesn't cross your mind, like, oh wait, what if I do the same scene, the same exact scene, but it's from a mouse's point of view, or it's outside instead of inside, otherwise the same, and that kind of thing. I feel like I sometimes forget, but thanks to just looking up, I just went on the Pexels site and typed in path and searched for images that were labeled with path. When I saw this one, that top-down view, I was like, oh yeah, I have not done something like that in a long time. I feel like I have done... I kind of want to flip through. Did I do any top-down at all in here? I feel like I've done top-down in the past. Yeah, most of them are just from the side, like you'd take a photo. Yeah, I could have missed some in that flip through, but I think this is going to be a unique one, at least for Inktober52 this year. So that's good. Okay, I don't need to draw every single little bit of trees, but I just kind of want to do little indications. So like against the roads, the trees sometimes overlap the road, like right here. But other times there's a little bit of gap between the end of the side of the road, or we're calling it a path, and where the trees start. So, and then like right here, there's like some trees growing. But then there's also like, I don't know what this is, but there's these little shapes like this. Like, I don't know if it's like the side of a mountain has been like tiered, or who knows what it is. It's kind of hard to tell. Like, I can't tell if it's just flat because it's a straight up and down. I mean, it could even be going this direction instead of like, it could be going like this, could be flat, or it could be going like this. But we'll just draw these shapes Don't worry about what they are. Just include them. They're visually interesting, so it makes it different than if I just made it a flat forest all the way around. That's kind of boring. I like that. That's what I like about reference images, because so often I feel like imagination is given this really high praise, but you've got to get a lot of real life input to fuel the imagination. Okay. I think that's good. So, now that I've got just this overall landscape kind of mapped out, so I was thinking that even though this path is winding like this, I'll do maybe we'll do 3 and have a sort of triangular pattern. I feel like this is nice right here, here, and here. Maybe we'll make them different sizes too. Oh, because this is really nice big space right here. So if we make them different sizes. Okay, I didn't tell you what I'm talking about. Griffins. I'm thinking about adding the griffins in. So we're doing a top-down view, so we'll be seeing them from above. So maybe we'll do like a small one here. So this one will be the farthest away from the viewer, the closest to the ground. There'll be a medium one right here, and then like a large one right here. Maybe we'll even be able to see the details of the griffin instead of just like a silhouette shape. Okay, and then they're all going to be going this way. I'll say that they're migrating. Maybe they're sort of following this path, but they're not actually on it because they're flying. Okay, so the small one is just be really generic because it's going to be very small. And I don't know what kind of bird this is, and just, again, just doing a generic shape, because I think the scene is more important for me today, rather than what is the species of griffin. Like, maybe for this big one, I'll look up a certain type of bird. Let's get these other ones in here first. Okay, and here's the back, and then we'll just have a nice, maybe the tail will be like a bit of a serpentine shape because the wind is going and rocking the tail. And then maybe you could see the feet a little bit. Being held back. And I don't think you'd see the arms because this is pretty much straight down. Okay, let's bring the waist in a little bit. Had a kind of sausagey shaped griffin. I'm gonna have to have a little bit more of a waist. Okay. Yeah, I think actually a griffin's wings would need to be way longer than this. For how big it is, I think the wings need to be way bigger. Okay. Let's make them like this. I'm just gonna shade it in so that I can make sure it looks like they're both the same size. Maybe this one a bit bigger. How about measure it like this? Yeah. This one needs to be longer. Okay, there we go. There's one. That's the furthest down griffin. So next griffin up, we'll do a little bit more detail. So like the rib cage. And here's the hips, and so I'll avoid the sausage look right from the beginning. They're drawing the rib cage and the hips separately. Here's the neck, and then the head's coming out, and then the beak. I drew a beak here, but it got lost. But here we'll be able to see it better. And then the tail coming out, and we'll do the same thing. The tail is being whipped by the wind. And so the legs will come out a little bit. Maybe they would actually be, let's see. I want them to be under the body instead of sticking out to the side. Okay. Oh, hold on. I push this little, I'm using a drafting table, and it's got this little thing at the bottom which you can't see on the stream, but you can push it up so that if stuff rolls down, like your pencil or something, then it'll catch it. But I don't like it because I hit my hand on it all the time and it hurts because it's just this little thin piece of metal like this. I just pushed it up with my leg, so I had to fix it so that it was back down again. Okay, so I want a little more streamlined look where the legs are going under instead of just like going out like this. There we go. And then, so the wings should go, okay, so they will go, I guess I'll just make it the same generic look as this, same shape, so they're all the same. So let's see, what's the length of this one compared to its body? That's about the same when you include the tail. Excellent. Okay, so that's how I can now, so like I measured this wing, I found out it's about the same length as this one's body, so that means I can do the reverse here. Take the length of the body, including the tail, and see how long the wing should be. So that's actually about right, and this one needs to be a bit longer, it looks like. Let me double check though. So I'm measuring from the outside point to where it meets the body. Yep, this one's a bit short. Okay. Oh, thank you! Yay! I'm glad to hear it. Exie says I love it already. Hooray! It's so nice when this experimental thing works out pretty well. It's fun to do different stuff to anyway. Even when it doesn't work out. It's still fun. Okay. So, we should be able to see a little bit more detail, I think. So instead of just this generic shape, I'm going to draw like the curves of the feathers. This is a very fluffy one. Very fluffy. That's fine. It can be fluffy. You can be as fluffy as you want, Griffin. Just very fluffy Griffin. Not quite exactly the same shape, but I like this is kind of cute. I like this. Actually, I want to make this even longer. Let me double check this length. So now I've added the feathers, it still feels short. Could just be okay about there. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's good though. And I like this, how this ended up being long enough to cross over the path down here, because that's another thing I learned from my illustration class, is to try to overlap things. Try not to just have things always meeting at the edges, because that's kind of distracting. But if you have overlap, then just like how these trees overlap the path right here in the reference image, that's just an accident of nature, but doing on purpose the same sort of thing with the griffins is, I think it makes it look nicer. Ever since I got that idea. Of course, everything in visual art is always just, it's more of a suggestion than a rule, but once I tried that suggestion, I'm like, oh yeah, I do like that actually, even though I never thought of it before. Okay, good. That one's good. Let's go to the final biggiest one. Maybe I'll have it going off the page even, like it's so big that it doesn't fit on the page. Let me move this stuff. My left-handedness, and I put all this stuff on the left for some reason today. I spilled a bunch of stuff on here. Hold on. It probably came out of this. Let's get my trash can and my little sweepy brush. Into the trash it goes. There. Yeah. Man, I'm really drawing upon my illustration class experience for this one. So many things are coming. Maybe it's because this weekend I went to a wedding, and it turned out that this person that I knew from anime conventions was getting married to this person that I knew from my illustration classes. And they didn't know that I knew both of them. So that was a really fun experience at their wedding. So I've been thinking about my illustration classes a lot because I went to classes with the bride that I saw this weekend. So another thing from illustration class is like, don't make everything all perfectly inside. Like, go outside the borders of your drawing. So now that I'm working on this last one, I think that I shall do that and have this last one. Let's see. Let's put the rib cage here. Hips. And the neck with the head. With birds, I've learned, interestingly, you don't really see the neck too much unless it's a really long neck bird. But like predator type birds and like seed eating birds and stuff, their feathers are just like beep. They just go straight down. It's like humans. It actually makes humans look kind of weird because we have our head is like this bulbous thing on top of a little skinny neck. So it's different with birds. And then when I'm putting it on turning it into a four-legged creature, a quadruped, it makes it even more interesting. Okay. Lots of interesting thoughts coming out of me today. Okay, so here's this last one, and then it goes on. We'll give them a little bit of waist, and here's the hips. Okay. I'm kind of confused about what I did over here. 2 strong sketches. That's fine. Okay. You probably wouldn't be able to see the eyes either, because most birds, I've noticed, have like this little bit of an overhang covering their eyes. It probably, now that I'm thinking about it, I never really thought about it before, but I bet it helps shield their eyes from the sun when they're flying. That's cool. Okay. So, the wings. No, wait, let's add the tail. Tail's whipping about in the wind again, just like the others. Give him a real long tail, almost like a rat. I had 3 pet rats in my 20s, and I love their beautiful little tails. I mean, they're just beautiful little animals, but that's what I'm reminding myself of with these real long skinny tails. Okay. So I'm trying to think about the logic of this for the legs. I was able to sort of fudge it and just make up a thing for these two, but we're seeing a lot more detail here. So I'm thinking about how would the legs go. The thighs would be hanging down, and then we've got so for us it would be like for us humans it would be like where the calves are, and then I'm imagining that the feet are coming, so as the griffin is flying across, the feet aren't just dangling down, they'd be held back to help with aerodynamics. That's what I'm imagining. So let's put some little paw pads on here. That'll be cute. And then this other foot is not really visible because of the tail, but you can see the side of it. Okay, who knows how anatomically accurate this would actually be, but at least I thought about it without any reference image. I think that's pretty good, and being able to see the paw pads is cute either way. Okay, so on the wings, I've noticed, thanks to my pigeons, there's this little V-shaped patch of feathers between the 2 wings. So start with that, and then just add the wings coming out and off the page, and it should be as long as the body, including the tail. So, wow. So actually, it'll even... So let me... Of course, I can mess with the measurement a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. Especially because this is all made up. But let me just double check. Okay. So it's the measurement not from the middle of the back, but from where the wing meets the body. Doesn't matter as much here because it's a tiny little, a question of a couple millimeters. But here, it's much bigger, so it makes more of a difference. So yeah, this wing will be... So I think I'll actually make the wing longer, because if I make it exactly the length it's meant to be according to these two, it'll just barely be touching this wing. And that's that thing I was talking about, like try to avoid things touching perfectly like this. So I'm going to make it a little longer so that it will cover up a little bit more. Okay. So I'll explain that big thought process to you. Now let's actually draw. So let's do the general shape first. And then I shall add some more details like feathers. Okay, I gotta turn this upside down to get my, to be able to do my hand in the direction that does better for the shape I'm trying to make. Oh man, I don't know if what I just said made any sense. Sorry if it didn't make sense. Sorry about that. Once I said it, I was like, I don't know if that's what I was trying to say. And unlike a text message, I cannot check what did I say. So hopefully I was able to express myself well. Okay. Whee! Man, it's cute. I mean, not in like an adorable kind of way, but like in a, well, I don't know, like an adorable way, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I just think animals are cute. So, so even though these are big griffins, that's what they're meant to be, big, bold animals, and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Okay, I'm having a little trouble with this wing. It's curving up a little bit more than I would like. Okay, I'm just gonna have to figure this out when I ink it. Speaking of, it's time to get started inking. And I think I'm ready because I've got this griffin all built now, so let's do it! Got half an hour left, so I'm going to, on the big one or the small one? I'm going to use this the small side of my double-ended brush pen. That way I can get these smaller details and these bigger ones all into one brush without changing drawing instruments too much. Even though I'm tempted to just make these silhouettes, that doesn't actually make sense because the light is coming from the top, because the sun is up top. So I'm going to do my best to put detail into these smaller ones. But since it is smaller, the detail would be less visible on these lower down griffins. And I'm also trying to keep the time in mind, since there's only less than half an hour left in the streaming window. Okay, hold on. Change my position. I was sitting with my legs crossed. Starting to make my back hurt. So time to change positions. Alright, I think that's good for that one for now. Let's move on. Well, I guess we'll do this one first because it's overlapping. So I need to know where are the final lines of this one's wing going to be so that I can draw these under it. Beak, beaky, head, neck. And then it should go straight into these wings. And I think I shall use my eraser on this one. Hadn't been erasing most of the year, but I think this one will really benefit from some erasing. Okay. I want it this way. Oh, we want to do it this way. Okay, I was trying to think which direction the feathers should be on top. I actually did it the wrong way here. The feathers on the outside go on top. Oh, am I remembering that correctly? Pretty sure they do. The outside feathers, because it's like, it goes like this, like a fan, when you fold a folding fan. And the more outside ones land on the top. Yeah, it's the only way it could work. Well, anyway, I'm going to ink from this direction because I think that's how it should be. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. So I had inked these ones so that the outside ones were actually on the bottom. So same thing over here. We're going to start from the outside, ink inward. Oh, and the rest of the body. Rest of the body. Boop, 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 boop. Let me show you up close. If it'll autofocus. No? Let me find the button without looking. There, I put the little paw pads on the one visible foot on the whole thing. Okay, let's add the tail. Actually, that's cute. It's fun to do little stuff like that. But I really have no idea. I don't have any reference. I didn't want to waste time trying to look for reference of, like, I don't know, cougar jumping but from above, like from a top-down view. Like, that's going to be a very hard reference image to find. So let's just use my imagination, do the best I can with that. And then I was like, it'll be so cute. It'll be so cute. I have to put the little paw pads on there. Okay. Now time for the middle gryphon. Yeah, I think the erasing will work really nicely here because we'll get rid of these marks that are showing the division between the body and the wings, because from this angle you wouldn't see that. You'd only be seeing the wings. this side. Okay. Almost done with these gryphons. I'm trying to remember to make the tail round because I'm just giving it that generic sort of lion body. Or maybe not generic, but the standard griffin lion body. So and I'm thinking mountain lion rather than African lion. So I like that round instead of a pointy tail. Okay, we got the 3 griffins on here. The nice different heights. Ooh, I really like this. Okay, so let's just create the environment. I think I want to start with this this pen. Has the same medium as this one, but since this hasn't gotten used yet, I'm gonna use this to create all the trees and fill in all the area with trees and do in a sort of textury kind of way by just moving the brush around vigorously. And regardless of whether it's a realistic tree texture, it'll have a round shaped texture, so hopefully the idea of trees will come through. And I'll also try not to make it too uniform because the trees kind of grow in groups unless they've been planted. But I'm not really seeing that too much here. We'll go off the edge a little bit. Same thing with the wing. We can get the background off of the edge too. So I'm going to try to work from this direction down to this, from the top right down to the bottom left, because I'm left-handed, so that way there's a lot less chance of me smearing ink or getting ink on my shirt or whatever from drawing. I don't always remember, but when I do, it's because I learned my lesson from a previous time. Also doing it this way, not just for keeping the drawing clean and keeping myself clean, it allows me to see what I'm working on better. Because I'm pulling away from what I'm working on instead of working into it, and it's kind of what I have already accomplished gets covered up, so it's harder to connect the new thing that I'm working on with the thing that I just finished if I work in a way that I'm covering it up with my arm. I want to be careful next to the griffins. I want to preserve their shape, but I also don't want to make it look like, for some reason, the trees are very thick exactly under the griffins, you know. So I want to leave a little bit of texture next to them, but also put enough dark that they'll stand out above it, considering that the light is coming from straight above them, the sun, so it's hitting them, so they should be very well lit. In this reference image, it's interesting. This part on this side of the road is much more thickly forested, and this part especially, you can see these lines in other areas too, but they're most visible right here. And it's a little more sparsely forested. So that's an interesting. I wonder where this is. I didn't look at where it was or anything. I was like, oh, I like this picture. So I picked it. Didn't read about it or anything. I do wish I had, for moments like this, I do wish that I had like a pot of ink with a brush so I could get this done way faster. But part of the challenge I set myself was to use this group of tools, so I'm gonna do it. There's only a few more months left. Gonna use them. I'm going back to over here because I left these parts untouched and I actually want to work them a little bit more. Remembering what I just pointed out, that this upper part has got a lot more trees. I'm wondering if this is upper in terms of elevation, is it's hard to tell. It's upper because it's the upper part of the image, like the page I'm working on, but is it also upper in real life wherever this is, like as if it's going up a mountainside? Just thinking about that a little bit. Trying to do different size circles too, since this is densely populated with trees, to help make it different so that it doesn't look too even. I want it to look foresty, not like a farm, not like a tree farm. So I'll do some real big ones and some small ones. Whew, got through 1/4. 1/4 of this scene has been filled with trees. If I could do this with any tools, I think I'd prefer to use a sponge for the texture. I think that would be a nice tree texture. Here's like a big old tree. And a few little ones. Little trees, little tree, little tree, little tree, little tree. And then back to the medium size. Getting there. Getting there. Ooh, I want to be careful over here because, hold on. I'm actually going to get oh, perfect. I have these little pieces of cardboard. Oh, I got to stand up to get them. Perfecto. This drawing, I have not scanned it in yet, so I want to protect it, especially because there's some of it exposed right here. Let's just stick this in here. And now I can freely draw this forest. So handy that I just happened to save these When I order stuff and it comes with these little thin slips of cardboard, I always like to keep them in case I need to mail like an art print or something like that, and I want to give it a little support. I actually got these ones from, I had to do a stamp order for my Patreon stamps. I was getting very low, so these were in the stamp order to keep the stamps nice. Trying to make these squiggles interesting in and of themselves so that it doesn't look too uniform. So I did like one long one going all the way down, and let's fill in around it. Let's do a big squiggle here. There, now let's fill in here some too. Maybe we'll make a dark line of trees here. Here I shall do a whole bunch of small squiggles all together. Ah, yeah. I like that, especially when I'm looking at it in my secondary monitor over here on the side. Yeah, I'm happy with how that texture is coming out. Just need it to not take too long. I only have 8 minutes left. I would like to have time to erase on stream so that we can all look together at what the final result is. So I want to finish these trees. Come on, trees, let's do this. Nice. Bottom half. Bottom half. Let's do this. And this shouldn't take as long because, as I pointed out earlier, this is less sparsely populated with trees, so I don't have to do as many squiggles. If you heard a big sigh just now, that was Aoife. My big dog Aoife. She did a big sigh. Ah, I used to do that too, though. Lexi says it reminded me of the maps I used to draw. I was drawing each tree by hand. Well, and some people do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there is some incredibly detailed, amazing art, like photorealistic. Like, there's like a genre of art called hyperrealism, where it captures all the details so precisely, and so, because even how can I say this? Even when our human eyes are looking at stuff, in general, we focus on, one thing, and maybe we see the details in that one thing, but everything around that, kind of disappears, but this hyper-realism is like, no matter how close or far away, it is absolutely detailed and precise and realistic, naturalistic. I was my mind was blown the first time I ever saw hyper-realism art. The one I remember, maybe it's not the first one I saw, but the one I remember is this artist that makes these giant, so realistic, naturalistic, except that they're absolutely gigantic. Like, I don't know, 10 times sculptures of humans. And like they look like humans, like the texture and the color. It's not like a marble sculpture that's oversized. It's like, it looks like a giant human. And so it's actually kind of disturbing because you're like, oh, what the heck? Like, it's like a baby that's like 20 feet long or something, you know? So, yep. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, doing each individual thing. I decided that that's not really the kind of art I want to do. I want to do art that leaves an like, it's more about the impression, but not impressionism. That's different, but because my art, I'm more interested in telling a story if possible. So stories are more built on what is the overall feeling it gives you, rather than, you know, keeping track of details and stuff. Like, yeah. 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left for me to finish. I think I won't erase everything. I'm going to keep some of these pencil lines, especially for like these little, whatever they are, like grooves in the earth or something. And like the outline of the road. So I'll just erase like on the griffins. If I have time. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Hey! I like these. Holiday tree. I love it. Christmas is my favorite holiday. So I love seeing the holiday tree. I love all of the treats and the happy music and the fun Christmas movies. The best part, though, is like getting together with your family and exchanging gifts and eating a feast for dinner and eating a whole bunch of candy for breakfast. So I love seeing those holiday trees there. Oh, look at this cute little forest you made. Is this all emojis? I think these are all emojis, huh? Exy made a little emoji forest in the chat. I love that too. I love the forest. I love trees. When I recently finished, I recently listened to all the audiobooks of Lord of the Rings, and I was like, man, I never really appreciated how awesome the Ents are and how awesome the trees are. And now, this time listening, I was like, they are so cool. They're some of my favorite characters. I mean, my favorite character is Samwise Gamgee. He was my favorite character forever. Samwise for life. Okay, I'm adding these lines, which I didn't really notice as much before, but now that I've drawn the trees in, I'm like, oh yeah, there's more of these lines in here too. Not here, though. This is like a separate little side path. But now these lines can sort of match with these ones. Okay, less than a minute. Let's just quickly erase the griffins. I'll probably go over my streaming time a little bit, but I just want the griffins to be able to stand out nicely, and then I'll do the final show and we'll be done for today. And then this one. Erase, and then I'll swipe off the eraser dust. Okay, big one. Oh yeah, it looks so nice. Yes, it looks so nice. erased just the griffins. And then I want the graphite elsewhere. Oh, we're out of time. But this is about as fast as I can erase, so but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. And the tail. Just don't forget the tail. Okay, and hold it down, so trying not to bend the page as I erase. Okay. I think I'll erase it a little bit better later, but let me just swipe these off. This is good enough for showing on the stream. Wow, I think it turned out even better than I thought it would. I was kind of iffy about it. Okay, final close-up look. Ah, I love it when my camera autofocuses. Here's the little smallest griffin, farthest away griffin. Next closer griffin. And then the biggie. Biggie. With the little paw pads. Beep. And the wing going off the page. And then here is the overall final result. So today's prompt path. There's the path. Whee. Then they're following their own invisible sky path. Oh, thank you. Exie says, looking awesome. Yay, thank you. I'm so glad you think so. Ah, that was fun. My hand's a bit tired after doing a whole spread worth of squiggles, but I think it was worth it, especially when I look at it on my screen over here. It doesn't look when I'm looking at it with my naked eye, it's got a different effect than on the screen. So, yay! That's it for today. Oh, you're welcome. Exie says, thank you so much for this stream. You are very welcome. Thank you for joining me in the chat as always. It's always so nice to have someone to talk to. I will be back tomorrow for a lucky dip. So hopefully see you then. Either way, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.